18th, 2020, and it's Donato and Mrs. Fuoco. And today I'm going to read you Volcano Dreams, a story of Yellowstone. It's written by Janet Fox, she's the author. It's illustrated by Marlo Garnsworthy. Marlo, as the illustrator, draws the pictures. So I pulled a few vocabulary words out of this book, and I'm going to go through them. The first one is gurgle. Can you say gurgle? To flow in a broken, irregular, noisy current. Gurgle. Second word is meadow. Where we live now, we don't have meadows. So this is a new word to some students, or many students. Meadow is a tract of grassland used for pasture or serving as a hayfield. The third word also comes out of the glossary, which I'll read at the end. It's called fissures. A narrow opening produced by cleavage or separation of parts, fissures. And the last one is shrugged. Shrugged, to raise and contract, sometimes the shoulders, expressing indifference, disdain, etc. In the book, it's not a person that's shrugging. You'll see that. So let's open it up. Here's the title page. As the sun rises, something is sleeping in Yellowstone. The wolf isn't sleeping. She opens her watchful blue eyes while her pups nurse. The moose isn't sleeping. He wades into the murky water and scoops up wads of pond mead. The bear isn't sleeping. She strips choke cherries from a branch with her sharp-clawed paws. Is the elk sleeping? No, he lifts his antlered head and bugles across the aspen gold meadow. Is the bighorn ram sleeping? No, he tilts his head and crashes, boom, against his brother. Is the mountain goat sleeping? No, she dances up the sheer cliff on her flexing feet. The grazing buffalo grumble and grunt, wide awake. The mountain lion peers through the branches, ever watchful. The coyote howls, his song echoing. Echo, echo, echo. Even the earth isn't sleeping in Yellowstone. Mud pots bubble and burp. Bubble. Bubble. Steam vents hiss and gurgle. Geysers spout and roar. But down, down, deep in the ground, where the rocks turn soft and hard, lies a sleeping giant. A great volcano dreams beneath the earth's surface. Fiery magma forms the giant's heart. Rainwater slips down through cracks and fissures. The magma heats the water, sending it steaming back up, up, and up. Ages upon ages ago, the giant stirred awake. The mountains stretched and yawned and rolled like thunder. Steam vents shrieked, mud pots roiled like cauldrons, geysers thrust their watery fists into the sky. The giant shrugged aside its heavy cover, and its magma heart poured out, cooling into rocks. Volcanic ash and pumice formed great yellow cliffs. Lava chilled in tall columns, creating a columnar joints. Liquid rock froze into the black obsidian glass. When the giant grew weary, it fell back to drowsy sleep. The cooling earth above collapsed and left caldera edges to be carved by streams and rivers into deep canyons. Seedlings sprouted in the fertile ash and made pine forests and wild-flowered hills. Now the giant rests, slumbering through molten time, wrestling with its volcano dreams. The years may number tens of thousands before it wakes again. But today, the animals find refuge near hot springs and in lush meadows. They find shelter under cool pines and inside yellow caves. Yellow. The elk tucks his bulk into feathered grass. The bear curls her body inside her earthen den. The mother wolf nestles her head over her deep-breathing pups. And the volcano dreams beneath them all as the sun sets. So I'm going to read the glossary. A caldera is a large crater-like depression that is created when an emptied volcano collapses in on itself after erupting. Columnar joints are formed when, as lava cools, the resulting rock fractures into regular polygonal columns. A fissure is a long, narrow, deep crack. Geysers eject fountains of hot water and steam high into the air. Geysers are formed when rainwater seeps into the earth and is heated to boiling before returning to the surface explosively. Hot springs are places where the superheated water exits the rock through a large fissure or a funnel-shaped hole. Lava is magma that has erupted from a volcano. Magma is a hot liquid rock under the Earth's surface. Mud pots are boiling ponds made of mud that bubbles and spatters. Obsidian is a glassy, black volcanic rock formed from lava that cools rapidly during an eruption. Pumice is a light and porous rock with a gritty texture. Pumice forms when gas-rich lava cools quickly and gas bubbles are trapped in the forming rock. Steam vents form when rainwater is superheated by hot rocks deep beneath the earth and then rises like steam from a tea kettle through the thin cracks in the rocks. Volcanic ash is made up of small dust-like particles that blow out of a volcano during an eruption and blanket the earth for miles around, mixing with soil and providing rich nutrients to plants. There's one more part that's really interesting. This says more about Yellowstone and its volcano, so I'm going to read that and then I'll get to the comprehension questions. Yellowstone National Park is the United States' first national park, established in 1872. The park spreads across parts of 3 states, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho, and is home to the many wild animals depicted in this book, as well as thousands of thermal features like geysers and hot springs. The thermal features are there because Yellowstone is actually an immense volcano, even though it does not have the cone-shaped mountain we usually associate with volcanoes. All we can see of the volcano are its thermal features and caldera, but deep beneath the park is a huge magma chamber. When the Yellowstone volcano erupts, it is so large and explosive that we call it a supervolcano. The Yellowstone supervolcano is now dormant, currently inactive. The most recent eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano happened about 640,000 years ago, and the 1,500 square mile Yellowstone caldera was formed when the volcano collapsed. The map of the title page shows where the edges of the Yellowstone caldera are. The mud pots, hot springs, geysers, and steam vents in the park are made by rainwater that is superheated by the Yellowstone magma chamber. Algae that live in the hot springs and geysers create brilliant colors. Geysers, like the reliable Old Faithful, can shoot thousands of gallons of water up to hundreds of feet in the air with each eruption. Because of its fertile volcanic ash soil, Yellowstone is lush with trees like quaking aspen and brilliant wildflowers like paintbrush. Careful. The animals that roam the park are protected and in the winter tend to gather near the thermal features to keep warm. The park is open year-round to visitors who come from all over the world to see this beautiful wonderland. So my first question here, let's put them back in order for a minute. Careful. Is the Earth sleeping in Yellowstone? How do you know? Is it sleeping? Night-night?
Night-night.
Night-night. The second question is, what is the giant? It's hot, yes, it is hot. The last one is, what happened ages ago when the giant stirred awake? And lastly, I'm going to ask you to make a text-to-self connection. What What do you dream about? Well, that's it for today, boys and girls. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Thank you.